bounce? Then bounce on this.
Do it like this. Handball, where you been? Round the world and back again. Handball, where you been? Round the world and back again. Handball, where you been? Round the world and back again. Say handball, where you been? Round the world and back again. I'm bouncing on you. feel me? Yeah. Can you feel me? Yeah. I'm bouncing. I'ma bounce on you. I'm bouncing. I'm bouncing. Yeah. I'm bouncing. I'ma bounce on you.
Growing up in the city, you know the streets like the back of your hand. Making it in the city, doing it the best way you can. Gambling with your life, racing with time. Justify the things you do, you must pay the price. Little boy grows up to become a man. He reflects the things he sees and what he wants to be. City life, living that city life. City life, living that city life. Growing up in the city, gets his education on the back of the bus. Making it in the city, his vision channeled by the challenge he must face. Little girl grows up to become a woman, torn between right and wrong. There's a 50-50 chance. The news is brought to her by the 4/4 beat on her radio. Oh, city life, living that city life. City life, living that city life. Racing with time, justify the things you do, you must pay the price. A little boy grows up to become a man. He reflects the things he sees and what he wants to be. Oh, city life, living that city life. City life, living that city life. Be a star with broken dreams. Oh, city life, living that city life. City life, living that city life.
journal about these days. Tried to bring my past, it hurt, we had to go our separate ways. Like Humpty Dumpty, left me grumpy. Loved ones left out and it left me lonely. But it was all in the plan, it just grew me up. Telling the plans to myself like it's two of us. I learned to stand by myself when it's feeling sus. And that feeling inside is the one to trust. Can't nobody tell me what I can't do, cause the night's still young and I ain't through. This the type of tune you blast through the sunroof. Gonna play this one back if you need proof. Used to be down, now I'm up again. Beat the door down, gotta let me in. It's either that or I'ma run through the back. Run it up and end up running it back. Used to be down, now I'm up again. Beat the door down, gotta let me in. It's either that or I'ma run through the back. Run it up and end up running it back. What you do? Took a leap of faith and landed on my feet. And what he do? Ordered my steps like I was keeping the beat. Say it ain't true. Weird energy, gotta keep it discreet. No kin to me, but always relay team. But I choose my battles well, no debating. Ran it up by myself like a relay team. Stayed 10 toes down even when I was down. Now I'm up, now I'm about to go 10 more rounds. Ain't nobody tell me what I can't do, cause the night's still young and I ain't through. It's the type of tune you blast through the sunroof. Gonna play this one back if you need proof. Used to be down, now I'm up again. Beat the door down, gotta let me in. It's either that or I'ma run through the back. Run it up and end up running it back. Used to be down, now I'm up again. Beat the door down, gotta let me in. It's either that or I'ma run through the back. Run it up and end up running it back.
Dance. I wanna see you dance. Just get up and dance. Move around. Let me see you just dance now. Jump up.
What's up, everybody? Yes, sir. Let's go. Yes. How you guys doing today? My name is Keyse. You're watching the Keyse Review Live, baby. Let's go. All right, guys. Today is going to be a very good day. I am very, very pumped for this episode. Very pumped. Because Microsoft unveiled their new Surface line, baby. Let's go! All right. So that's going to be at the end of the show. But before that, we're going to go over a little bit. It's not going to be a huge show today. It's not a lot of information. Things been a little quiet. But we'll go over a little bit that the United Kingdom may force Apple to put USB-C on all their phones. So that might be something. Intel breaks ground on a new independent manufacturing fab. So they're going to be making more chips. We're going to go over a little bit over that. As well as they intend to work with board manufacturers in order to get their new graphics cards, the Alchemist, out there. So we got a few interesting subjects. Excuse me. Ooh. Burping. We got a few interesting subjects to go over today, so that's where we go over. But before we start, if you are watching for the first time, make sure you hit the subscribe button and then hit the bell notification in order to let you know whenever I go live, upload videos, all that good sort of stuff. Also, if you're currently watching the video, if you can do me a favor, scroll down, hit the like button right there at the bottom, okay? So hopefully everybody ready. Are you guys ready? Let's go.
Okay!
Alrighty, guys. So we're going to start off with the subject, and we're going to start off a little bit talking about, a lot of people's favorite company. That's going to be with Apple. So I found an interesting article last night. Actually, I read this article, how the UK intends to make a rule where everything on the smartphone should be USB-C, basically, all the charging ports and all that good stuff. So that's interesting because pretty much all the ports on all the smartphones are USB-C, for the exception of the iPhones. For some reason, I don't understand why Apple won't go USB-C yet. They said they was going to commit to USB-C. They made the opposite end of the charger USB-C. All their chargers USB-C. Their iPads are USB-C. Their laptops are USB-C, but not the iPhones, which is kind of weird. And I highly think that they should be going USB-C. So, but they haven't yet for some odd reason. I'm not sure if they're waiting for the next the iPhone or what, because I thought they was going to go over it this time, but they didn't. But anyway, I got the article where it says UK may force Apple to go all in with USB-C with the new proposed legislation that would standardize charging ports on phones starting in the year 2024. I don't know if I'm gonna get this name right, but Thierry Breton, who's the European Commissioner, has said this, and I'll go ahead and pull it up on the screen. And of course, in some lovely fashion, for some reason, this always blocks out video. I cannot figure out this bug. But anyway, it says charging points on all of our most essential electronic devices. With more and more devices and more chargers are sold or not interchangeable or is necessary. We are putting an end to that. With our proposal, European consumers, I'm sorry, I'm getting this wrong. Let me say that again. With our proposal, European consumers will be able to use a single charger for all their portable devices, an important step to increase convenience and reduce waste. So that's what they had to say about that. I'm not sure why this blocked out. This is like the weirdest bug I cannot absolutely figure out at all. Let me see, PowerPoint screen. There we go. Okay. So pretty much what they are saying is they're going to force all the phone manufacturers to go with the USB-C plug. That's kind of interesting. So everybody know I'm not the biggest Apple fan, right? And everybody knows that I love the USB-C port. It's so much expansion with that port. So many things you do. I mean, you get 100, 150 watts of charging up to it, which is why, a lot of manufacturers now are using it on their laptops. You can now use it for the to use the Thunderbolt protocol, which we're going to be talking about some later in the show. You can use for that. You can do high-speed transfers, all that good stuff right there. Now, to force companies to do this, I'm not going to lie, guys. I kind of don't like it. I'm going to because they said Apple wasn't happy. I'm going to side with Apple on this one. I'm going to give Apple one, right? And I know everybody's going to be like, oh, he sided with Apple. But I kind of side with Apple on this one. Now, yes, I did just say that they need to go USB-C. But I don't think that's a government's place in order to force them to go USB-C. When they're talking about waste, electronic waste, yes, it's a big thing. I understand all that. But it's like we're going to have waste regardless. And having USB-C is not going to change because there's a lot of people that feels the need to always get a new charger for every single device, for every single phone. I don't feel like that. There's a lot of charges that I use. I use stuff to basic to the brakes. I just keep on using it, use it as a spare, throw one in this bag, throw one back that bag, and either until it breaks or I lose it, I'm gonna keep on using it. I don't see the need to try to force somebody, especially a company like Apple, to try to force them into going into this new standard. Like, it's kind of odd, Like, I don't understand the reasoning behind this legislation. Now, this is nothing official, so I don't want nobody to think it's anything official. But let's just hypothetically say the UK get their way, they get the proposal to is law. Now, you're dealing with an interesting situation. So, in that case, does Apple now create phones just for the UK, or do they change their whole lineup to include this? I don't think that they will just make it for one territory. That will be a lot of extra money trying to develop a whole different SKU for a territory. It's a lot just programming in the software alone, but now you talk about hardware changes. You can't use the same hardware and stuff like that. That's going to be very, very interesting to see what comes out of this situation. I don't feel like it's the right thing to do. I don't feel like it's the right thing to do to say, hey, Apple, you guys must make USB-C on all the devices. Which, yes, me personally, I do think they need to make the iPhone USB-C. It makes no sense to have an outdated Lightning port still on the iPhone. But that's Apple's prerogative. I don't think, again, the government should be telling them what to do with this device. It is their product that they're making for the consumers. And if the consumers still like the Lightning port, which a lot of people does, especially because you're talking about what every single iPhone since, Jesus Christ, the iPhone 7, I think, 6, something like that has a Lightning port. So you got a lot of people that still has Lightning cables, and you still got people that got the old school Type A chargers where the Lightning port charges in or plugs in and stuff like that. They're talking about waste. You're going to also be wasting all that when people start throwing this stuff away in the trash. And especially if we don't have a comprehensive recycling plan, or make sure that people recycle electronic waste, all that waste is going to go to the landfill. So it's kind of defeat the purpose of saying, hey, we're trying to, control waste and stuff like that, but you're going to be creating it from forcing people away from the Lightning connector. You guys get my drift on that? Like, you're going to be interrupting it. Hey, Tristan, how you doing? But it's going to be something that they're going to try to force Apple and like stronghold Apple to make these changes. There's a lot of stuff that they should do, and they got to make sure the companies play fair and stuff like that. But to force them to change the port on the laptop, as much as I'm not really for proprietary connectors for the most part, I don't agree with the UK stance on this. I do not agree with them trying to force Apple into this. I think it's kind of dumb, if you ask me. If they want to do the Lightning port, let them do the Lightning port. Let the consumers decide if they want the Lightning port. Let the consumers tell Apple, hey, this is what I want, because I don't think there's anything fair about this rule, like at all. Let me turn my fan down. It's actually getting, that is almost a little nippy. But anyway, it's like, I don't know. I don't see this as being something, and all the things I will blame Apple for, I don't see this as something that's going to be bad. For Apple to be like, hey, we don't like this and we're not going to agree with it, and of course we're not going to join you on it, Again, Apple does absolutely needs to go USB-C. 100,000,000%. But the government should not be telling them what to do on this one, guys. Like, I don't think this is something that's going to be, like, cool, So, that's my stance on it. We'll see what else happens with it. Again, this is not law yet. This is legislation. It's got to go through all the proper channels and stuff like that. But it's like, saying you're going to eliminate waste, but then you're going to be creating it unless you're going to have people recycle. And we all know everybody ain't going to recycle. They're just going to throw it in the trash just like they do everything else. And, it's going to go to the waste side. So, which we have to educate each other to try to recycle. Usually if I have my family or friends, I usually tell them, give me their waste. I got actually a box right here by my closet of stuff that needs to be recycled. So I got to go finish organizing that stuff and put it together. So, but yeah, I don't think this is something that is cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, like there's some things the government shouldn't have control over. This is going to be one. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But that's my stance. I want to talk about that real quick, especially because the news been very, very light for the most part this past week. So, out of that, that's from Apple. So, now we're gonna go over to the next company, one of my favorite companies, and that is Intel. And Intel has been doing some big things as of lately. So, starting off, Intel is breaking ground on two new fabs in Arizona. So they're going to be called Fab 52 and 62, I believe. They're going to build it, I believe, on the same plan as their existing fab right there in Arizona. These fabs are going to be worth a total of $20 billion. Michelle Williams, how you doing? Thank you for joining the show. We got a good one later on today for the most part. Anyway, so they're going to be, they invested over $20 billion. They said that this is going to create over like, what was it, like 20,000 temporary jobs, temporary jobs. And it's going to really create a whole bunch of other jobs for people who work in the plant. This is also an area where they're mentioned that this is going to be like around a bunch of colleges and community colleges and stuff like that. So, this is going to be good for the community, you know? So basically, Intel CEO Pat Gelsinger, he had this to say about everything. Oh, because that's not clicked. I clicked off of it, did I? Go ahead, play it. There we go. This is what he has said. Intel is and will remain a leading development. I'm not reading correctly today. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just too pumped for what's going to come. Intel is and will remain a leading developer of process technology, a major manufacturer of semiconductors, and leading provider of silicon globally. So, and I think they're saying that because they're seeing a lot of things happen. They're seeing China getting their first foundry up. Europe now, I'm hearing is getting the foundry up now. So they're going to create their foundry and start making chips. Of course, that's not going to be x86 chips. That's going to be in a very, very small circle, which is predominantly going to be Intel and AMD for that. It's going to be interesting to see because we have this chip shortage. And the chip shortage, yes, a good amount of it had to do with the pandemic, with the manufacturing, but also another part of it is the high demand of all this stuff. Because everybody think when you talk about processing chips, they just think about really the computer and maybe the cell phone. But everybody don't realize that you also got to think about your regular electronics, you know, your low-level processors, you know, your RISC processors and stuff like that. You got to think about your televisions now, right? You got to think about your Blu-ray players, your sound bars, your audio receiver, your vehicles. Your vehicle's going to probably take multiple processors, you know, multiple DSPs and stuff like that. You got to think about that stuff. You know, your picture frames, you've got digital picture frames. If you're in the pro industry, your audio interfaces, you know, all that stuff needs chips, you know, and some of them are good degree of complex chips, you know, stuff like that. So just think about everything that needs a chip, everything that turned on and has an interface that you interact with day to day. That stuff needs a chip, you know, your smart home devices, your routers, you know, how many chips does Google needs, you know, they change chips so often. Facebook changes chips so often, you know, stuff like that. We don't think about the other stuff like these on a day-to-day basis, you know. All these things need processors. So I absolutely love that Pat Gelsinger is back with Intel and is leading Intel because we have not seen Intel so ambitious in the past few months as we have since Pat taken board and getting the old band of brothers back together and women, you know, getting everybody back, creating these new chip architecture. You know, they got Raja Kaduri, you know, they had Jim Keller for a hot minute and then he left. You have all these people that's going to be contributing to some great things, you know. I'm really, really looking forward, which we'll talk to in a minute, the Alchemist GPU, the Alchemist graphics card. All this stuff that's about to be coming out. It's just awesome. I really do feel that Intel is back on the right track. And Pat Gelsinger is really leading the way. And this video was kind of long, but like he got up, he's just so pumped, and he's just so ready for everything that's going to come out, So let me see, I just had something pop up. Moving to the common USB-C connector will lose Apple licensing fees. It gets from made for iPhone peripherals using the Lightning connector. Okay, yeah, so Tristan's going back with Apple. Yeah, but think about it this way. With USB-C, you're going to be gaining, Apple now creating a USB to headphones, or USB-C to headphone port, because you still need one of those. Yeah, you can get a third party, but no, Apple people, especially dedicated Apple people, are loyalists, so Apple can make out a USB-C cable, official cable, and they're going to get money for that, We can talk about licensing fees, but the fact that over 90% of Apple's line now, no matter what you look, regardless if it's the iMac, no matter if it's the what am I thinking about? The iMac, no matter if it's the iPad, no matter if it's the Mac Mini, all those things now uses USB-C. The only thing that doesn't use USB-C now is the iPhones. Everything else in Apple's line that's a portable device or like a small computer, all those things uses USB-C now. Everything. Especially because, think about it this way too. Apple's a huge proponent on Thunderbolt technology. Thunderbolt 3 and Thunderbolt 4 uses the USB-C connector in order to transport information back and from. Because the Thunderbolt protocol especially is just insane. And then you got USB 4.0. That uses the USB-C connector. Everything is using the USB-C connector, guys. About the majority of my new devices, including my PlayStation DualSense controller, uses USB-C for charging. My PlayStation 5 got USB-C, So once I upgrade this new motherboard I got in here uses a couple of USB-C ports. So I got a couple of USB-C things plugged into it, Hey, Mr. Net, how you doing? Everything's using USB-C. And Apple is, again, like I said, about 90 or so percent USB-C on everything. Because USB 4.0 and Thunderbolt 3 and 4 uses the USB-C connector. The new iPhone connectors, the iPhone power bricks, right? The one that you guys like to buy, since Apple doesn't pack the chargers in the things no more, uses USB-C on that end. So you're going Lightning to USB-C. So it's the inevitable that, yes, okay, you get rid of the licensing fees, but you're going to drop those and put the USB-C, which I do think Apple's going to plan regardless. I just don't think that it's up to the government responsibility to try to force somebody to go with USB-C. That's just my take on it. But, yeah. It would also make iPhones less water resistant since Lightning ports are apparently more secure against intrusions from water compared to USB-C. That's actually a false statement. There's a lot of products that are fully, even more so than iPhones, completely water resistant on USB-C than Lightning. So that's a false statement actually. You just have to seal and glue the ports. It's what people have been doing since the beginning of time. So that's false. It's no less or better any water intrusion than anything else. These guys already know what to do with that. It depends on if they want to pay for, doing all the testing, the R&D into it, then paying for the study. No, because when they do the water intrusion thing to say, hey, we IP68, IP68 water resistance, they have to pay for that, and they have to pay a lot of money per unit in order to get that license. So it depends on if they want to pay that license. A good note, the Samsung S21. How many people have you seen swimming with videos on YouTube or even in the commercials that Samsung makes, swimming with the phone? So that has nothing to do with, water resistance. That'll be more of a less, maybe a little fee, I guess. I don't know, that Apple will make, but Apple's going to make the money regardless. I mean, people's going to keep on buying iPhones. A lot of people's going to specifically look for iPhone chargers and iPhone cables. Was it going to charge $30 for that little $2 cable? Let's be realistic, guys. Cables do not cost that much. Okay. So, people's going to still buy it, Anyway, let's go back to, what we was talking about, with the Fab. So Pat Gelsinger, has been so like right in this boat with Intel because AMD has been taken over. And you have an ARM. Now that NVIDIA, will be completing their merger with ARM by next year, I think. You're going to be having a lot of competition, and to see Intel taking these steps, making these foundries. And no, these foundries not going to be just for Intel chips. They're going to be making them from other clients and stuff. So Microsoft come to them, Intel, we want to make a Microsoft branded chip. They're going to be able to do it. Another client, we want to make a chip for our brand, like Google, or Google is going to make their ARM stuff, but let's say Microsoft maybe, or I guess you can say Google too. It doesn't matter. Facebook, Facebook already using Intel Xeon chips, so I can see Facebook getting their own custom branded Facebook Xeon chips specifically for Facebook, where they're using BF 56 floating point instruction sets and stuff like that. So yeah, but they're going to be building new foundries, 2 of them. They should be completed by the year 2023, 2024 is what they're aiming for. So a couple more years of building for that, but it's definitely exciting to see Intel really breathing new energy into the company, because I ain't gonna lie, even myself, even though I'm primarily an Intel fan for chips and stuff like that, Intel has been a little bit like dead, you know what I'm saying? They haven't been like the exciting people, or anything like that. So, that's that for the Fabs. And the transition out of the Fabs, we have their new graphics card with some information. So, Intel has been on the record now stating that they're going to have integrated board partners, basically. So, AIBs is what they call them. So, basically, this is what the card looks like. Let me go ahead and blow it up. I'm not sure how real this is, but this has been in a lot of publications. So, this is going to be the card right here. So, this is their reference card from what I understand. So with this card, it's going to be what Intel makes, but their board manufacturers might make their own. They might make a different cooler. They might make a tri-cooler instead of a dual cooler. They might make a short version where it only has one cooler with a lower thermal output, stuff like that. Raja Kaduri, who's the boss of anything that's Intel graphics and a lot of that stuff, he actually had an interview with a Japanese publication. So let me see, did I? Oh no, I didn't put the thing. I'll just read it off then. So this is what he had to say about the partnership. So he said, partners and I think that there will be very different. Will be a differentiation of ODM, original design manufacturer, that will lead to the ultimate customer interest. A lot of people love to go to their companies for stuff. For instance, NVIDIA, AMD, of course they have their reference cards, but they also have ASUS, ASRock, MSI, EVGA, etc., that makes graphics card boards for them, and they can overclock it, or they make it with the design, or they have lights on it, so they can do, match it up with the lights on the computers, or have it glow with the rest of the lights on the computer, etc. And this is something that consumers mostly wants, So to have board manufacturers, and me, I'm already looking like, ooh, I see ASUS in there. You know what I'm saying? And some people's going to be like, ooh, they got one with Gigabyte. And by the way, Gigabyte, ASUS, and MSI are so far confirmed from other publications. So this is something that's going to be very, very interesting, because you're 100% now battling AMD NVIDIA and AMD. You know, Pat Gelsinger again came back and said, going to start being in a position to really put pressure on NVIDIA for the first time in forever. If you ask me, that's a lot of shade, people. That's a lot of shade. So one, he's saying AMD ain't providing no competition. He's like, AMD can't touch NVIDIA. Two, he's telling NVIDIA that we're coming from that number one spot. We're coming for that number one spot. And it's going to be interesting, especially with their AIMB technology, with their 3D FinFET processes, with their Forever's packaging, stuff like that. All these technologies are starting to come. And we talked about this on a previous episode. So I forgot what episode. It's been a couple of them. So go back to those episodes. You want me to explain more what those are. But, all those packaging together, tying the chips and everything like that. And I've been hearing the benchmarks that's been coming out on some of these things, the early benchmarks, are very, very satisfactory. It's very, very good. So now, it's going to beat the 3080 or 3090. Honestly, I kind of doubt it for their first generation cards. I'll say maybe the 3070 is what we're going to be looking at for their performance. But if it matches the performance of a 3070, especially with all the technology that they're introducing to it, that's going to be a game changer. Also, another thing it's going to do is reduce prices. And I can tell you this, NVIDIA charge way too much money for their stuff. I'm sorry. I mean, you're charging like $800 to $900 for your flagship card, which a few years ago we would have had for about $500-600. Like, that's just way too much money. Their entry cards are starting off at $500. They used to be $200. You know what I'm saying? So it would be good for Intel to start knocking doors and ruffling feathers over here and leaves and force them to reduce everything, force them to really be competitive, and it will also force AMD to be more competitive, so I can see this as a good thing, I just want them to come out with a great, creators, card. 'Cause I might bite on it, because I got an AMD card right now in my system. I kind of want to transition back because I have some driver issue stuff. I kind of want to transition back to NVIDIA, but if Intel comes with something, guys, I'll get an NVIDIA card or an Intel card. I have no problem with getting an Intel card, and I'm OCD as it is, so I can be like, I have my Intel processor with my Intel GPU that's on an AMD motherboard, and the graphics cards on an AMD made board, AIB. So that will be interesting, guys. That'll be very, very interesting to see what happens with that stuff, So that's what I got for Intel. Good stuff, right? For Intel to get ready in 2022, which I'm going to estimate that they're going to be showing off this graphics card in its entirety at CES 2020, the first week of January. I'm calling it. It's going to happen. It's really, really going to happen, guys. And if these cards are going to be as good as they say it is, it's going to really shake up the industry. It really, really is, So we'll see. We'll definitely see what's going to go on with that stuff, guys. So, anywho's, now for the company of the hour. That will be Microsoft. Man, let's give them a hand clap. And man, oh man, did they not disappoint. So I know the applesauce guys was over there like, ooh, we got our event from Apple, blah, blah, blah. Bro, Microsoft, actually, this event was better than I thought it was going to be. Microsoft came to the party. Microsoft really, really came to the party on this one, guys. And they unveiled a whole bunch of new products. So now I'll go over some that I didn't really put in the slides and stuff like that because I didn't feel like it was, used. I mean, I could have, I guess, but there's a couple of products they released. So one of the products, which is big for people that's disabled and everything like that, they coming out with an adaptive kit. So it has stuff like rings or like shapes that you put on keyboard. So I guess maybe if you're blind or if you have a hard time seeing or colorblind and stuff, you can put like these little stickers on the keyboard and stuff like that. They also have this little strap that can attach to the back of the kickstand where you can pull the kickstand out, or you can ease the time of taking out the pin holder, stuff like that. So that's one thing. They also have a a mouse that they made from recycled ocean waste. So wasted from the ocean. Basically, they took all that waste and started making mouses with them. All that stuff should be coming out pretty soon. And I'll announce, I believe, October 4th for most of these products. And the Duo, which we get to too, I think that one's on the 24th that comes out. So anyway, without further ado, let's start talking about the main stuff. So, oops, I forgot to load out the main screen. So here we go. We're going to play the video. Yes, sir. All right. So you've seen some of the stuff right there. We're going to be starting off talking about the Surface Go 3. So with the Surface Go 3, it's going to be a smaller form factor. This is aimed for, I'm going to say it's aimed for people that's like just doing like basic web browsing, video stuff, basic things. Also going to be for your kids, if you need to get a laptop for your kids and stuff like that. So I got a video specifically on this. Let's go ahead and play it. Yes, sir. That is the Surface Go 3. So the biggest thing with this thing is that you go USB-C, right? I think it has one Thunderbolt port on it. You have different processor. A lot of people are like, oh, this is going to have the old Celeron processor. That was the rumor. It does not have the Celeron processor. So they upgraded all the processors to go with the Intel Pentium 6500 Y on two of the models. It will start off with 4 gigabytes of RAM and go up to 8. And then it will start off with a 64 gigabyte SSD and can go up to 128 depending on your configuration. So this is something, as you can see in the B-roll, you can play Minecraft, you can draw with it, Surface Pen. I didn't see anything that said it was going to be compatible with the new Surface Pen. Not no information or things like that. But, you do get dual screen functionality now with it, which the previous you're going to do. One, it has some studio mics, 1080p cameras, stuff like that. So it's a pretty good proposition for what they have. Something that's easy, that's cheap, very affordable to use. I'll go ahead and I'll bring up some of the stuff here. So we'll bring up the specs, and I'll go ahead and then bump that to the full screen for you guys. So here's the specs right here. Okay, so the first configuration, you got the Intel Pentium processor, Wi-Fi model. It's going to have 4 gigabytes of RAM and 64 gigabytes of storage space off the SSD. That one's $400, so that's a very, very good price point. And you use that with the Surface Pen, of course, all the models you use with the Surface Pen. The second configuration is also going to have the same PTM processor, but it bumps that up to 8 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage space off the SSD. And that was about $550. So I think that one, that second configuration, is going to be probably the best thing to go with right there, guys. I think that with that $550 price point, that's not that much asking for what it comes with. Except, just something simple and a nice design, because the Surface is a 2-in-1. It is a convertible, basically, so you got to add a little bit of money to that. And then if you want the top of the line, you got the Intel Core i3 with the Wi-Fi, 8 gigs of RAM, also 128 gigabytes of storage space, and that one's going to be $630. So for people that wants a little bit more power with it, that's going to be $630 for the i3 core processor. So, and that's the Tiger Lake processor, if anybody's asking, the 11 Gen. So that's that. And you can see it's basically all the same stuff we're already using. It comes with Windows 11, Windows 11 Home. So that's what these will come with. So, it looks nice. And they kind of like just slightly updated it, looks wise a little bit. And otherwise, it's mostly the same. Still got the same screen, which is going to be the 10-inch screen on there, 10.1-inch screen. You still got your Windows Hello on there. Like I said, you got the USB-C on the side. You got the headphone port also on there. You still use the Surface Connect, the keyboard Connect port at the bottom. So you have those things right there, guys. So, oh, I'm sorry, it doesn't have Tiger Lake. I just saw the graphics. It does not have Tiger Lake. It's 10 Gen. So. But yeah, for something easy or something for your kid, they're migrating on to middle school, high school, this is probably something I would say get for them, so, or if you're somebody that doesn't use the computer much, but you use, you want a bigger screen than your smartphone for web browsing and stuff like that, that will be, what this laptop will have. So, that will be, the, Surface Go 3. So good stuff. Oh, by the way, the game's on. The Rams leading the Bucks 14-7. So let's go, LA Rams. So anyway, get to a product that I greatly have been waiting for. That is the Surface Pro 8, baby. Let's go. Oh, yes, I've been waiting for this, and the people that said that this was going to be a big redesign, it is very much a big redesign. They did a lot of stuff to this, so we'll go over it. Let's go ahead and we'll go start watching the video. Enjoy. Oh, yes, look at that. So, this is the Surface Pro 8. If you look, the first thing you know is completely redesigned. So they, instead of making it more like square, with a little bit of curve, they exaggerated the curves at the corners a lot more. Also, it has a way bigger screen, a little bit closer to the Surface Pro X. And just to touch on the Surface Pro X a little bit, they did update that too. The only thing that the Surface Pro X really has that's different, though, is that there's a Wi-Fi only model, because the only model they had was an LTE. So this one, the Surface Pro X will be just a Wi-Fi model added on. So anyway, back to this. Bigger screen, so 13-inch touchscreen, 3.3 by 2 aspect ratio. This is their Pixel Sense 10 touch display. And the cool thing about the 10-point flow display is that you can have your fingers doing stuff and use the pen. So that pen, like right there on the graphic, actually, that's the new Surface Slim Pen 2. And the cool thing with that is that they said they have the haptic feedback built into the pen. They also got a specific chip on the pen and the touchscreen itself to simulate writing a lot better, to have a lot less latency and all that good stuff. So, I mean, this thing is like the bee's knees of the Surface Pros that we've been really, really waiting for. Like, I've been waiting for this. I've been holding out for this product. So now I need to start saving money. This is going to be a very, 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 very awesome laptop. Like, tablet, whatever you want to call it. It's both the same. Another 2.1 convertible. But yeah, so got the Pencil Sense. 120 hertz refresh rate, guys. 120 hertz. So that's the standard for all the flagships now. Microsoft put it in theirs because this is their flagships. It has a 2880 by 1920 resolution, which also translates to 267 points per inch, pixels per inch. It has the Tiger Lake 11 Gen processor as a quad-core i5 or the quad-core i7 processor. Intel Iris Xe graphics up to, and this is, I love this spec right here, up to 32 gigabytes of RAM. Bro. Okay. For everybody that was happy over all the new iPad stuff, you ain't got 32 gigabytes of RAM in your machine. The lowest configuration for these guys is going to be 8. It was previously 4. This one's going to have up to 32. So you're going to have 8, 16, and 32 gigabytes of RAM space, inside of your machine. Storage space. You will have 128, 256, 512, and 1 terabyte for your SSD. And guess what, guys? The SSD on these things are removable. Oh! Dude, I love it. I really do. Which, to get to the SSD, you could get into it if you want to take apart the screen, take apart half the system, risk breaking it, and replace the SSD. This one's going to have it right behind the kickstand. These will also have Dolby Vision. The kickstand will be able to do 180 degrees tilt from 160. You'll also have a couple of new cameras. You have a 5 megapixel 1080p front-facing camera, so that's facing you. You have a 10 megapixel 4K camera on the back behind the unit, so if you want to take pictures. You're going to have dual far-field studio microphones, so you got 2 microphones onto this system, as well as 2-watt stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos on it. The connections and wireless, you're going to have Wi-Fi 6, and you're going to have that nice dual USB-C with USB 4.0 or Thunderbolt 4 on there, guys. We finally got Thunderbolt 4 on these machines, guys. So anybody that says that you ain't got too many Windows devices with Thunderbolt 4 or any Thunderbolt on it, well, here you go. You got Thunderbolt on these guys. And that's going to be a huge game changer, especially in the pro industry, I think. You still going to have the Surface Connect port. I don't think that it's going to have Lightning. I know it does have USB-C on there with, I believe, their USB-C ports on the dock. But you still have that Surface Connect ports, which is good because that leaves your Thunderbolt 4 free. But the only thing I will say is that if you have something that stays there, like maybe a NOS box or something like that, then you're going to have to keep on unplugging all of it in addition to that port. Of course, you can get the USB-C dock and do it through that. But, those are also a little bit more pricier. That will depend on where you can get it from, all that good stuff. Actually, I can pull up the specs. I do got the specs on here. Let's go ahead and pull some of that up now. Let me pull this full screen. And you're also going to have Surface Connect. So you have 5. Oops, I just pressed something. My fault. You got the 3.5 millimeter headphone port. You got the Surface Type cover port. So at the bottom, it is a new Surface port. So you see how the pen kind of folds into it. Like when they fold up the pen folds into it because it charges as well. So those are going to start about $160. And then you have Bluetooth 5.1. Now, they raised the battery life on this. So previously it's like 10 hours. They're saying they're going with 16 hours worth of battery life, guys. Like, yes. Yes. You got a firmware TPM chip, so compatible with Windows 11, of course. You're going to have Windows Hello, of course. It comes with Windows 11 Home. I did wish they came with Pro, but you can always upgrade it for a few dollars. I have an account, so I think it's a transfer over perfectly fine. You also have a different material on it. You have anodized aluminum, instead of the other stuff they has for the old ones. You also have 2 different colors on this. You have graphite and platinum. This thing only weighs 1.96 pounds, and it starts off at $1,100. Now, they got different configurations. So here's your configurations right here. So here's all your configurations. So, and the price is right there at the bottom. So you see you got about 4 models with the i5, and you got 4 models with the i7. Most of them will have actually 16 gigabytes of RAM, which is awesome. You only got 4 models that doesn't, which is going to be your base model, your bottle up after that, the third model, so the one with the 512 gigabytes of SSD storage, and then the top model, which has 32 gigabytes of RAM. On machines, you have a minimum, and I love this spec too, a minimum of 128 gigabytes of SSD storage. And you see most of them will have the 226, or at least half of it will. You got a couple of models with the 512 gigabyte SSD, and you got 2 models with 1 terabyte on them. And you can see all the prices right here. So your base model is going to start you off at $1,100, and then your top model is going to do $2,600. Only downside, you see the platinum right there. So the last model, the one $2,600, you only get it in one color, so you only get it in platinum. So that's kind of a letdown. Or the top 2 with the terabyte, so that's kind of a letdown for me. But in the 32 gigabyte RAM, that one's really a letdown more than the terabyte SSD, because I can upgrade the SSD. It's not a problem, But that's what you got for these. But because I have the platinum color for my current Surface. I like that graphite. I might have to get a graphite one, man. So, and dude, like the Thunderbolt ports are going to be so nice on these, man. It's not even funny. Like, I'm very, very happy these have Thunderbolt ports on them, So, we'll definitely see what else it comes with. But, man, dude, that is an amazing machine. Look at that. Look at that that graphite. Oh, I gotta get it. Hands up for that Surface Pro 8, baby. Thank you, Microsoft. Thank you. All right. Now, for another product, I am highly excited for, and that is the Surface Duo 2. Guys, they made all the upgrades in the right spot. Couple things I didn't like, and we'll discuss. But the Surface Duo 2, just like the Surface Pro 8 is the Surface Pro we've been waiting for, the Surface Duo 2 is that Surface Duo that we've been waiting for. We're going to go ahead. We're going to roll some video, and I'll see you on the other side, okay? Here we go. Yes. Yes. Oh, yes. Look at that. Introducing the Surface Duo 2, guys. Bro, this thing is going to be a beast. Look at that. So, look at that, the picture right there. So, that's the first thing. So, my Surface right here is just like kind of like a silver finish right there. So, that's going to be a screen now. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be a screen. Or it's going to be rolled off on the main screen. So, it's going to say your notifications right there. You also seen that they got cameras on it. The only thing I hate, guys, the camera bumps, guy. I gotta give them a boo for that. See, I kind of just like the clean look right there. Like I don't mind cameras, but you don't have to make it like the best camera. But a lot of people was asking for it, so Microsoft delivered. So hey, win some, lose some. I would have preferred to even went with a lesser camera, so it can be a lot smaller or even a non-existent camera bump. But hey, it is what it is. I mean, this thing's awesome. The screen's bigger, so you go up from like 8 inches to 8.3 inches, 5.8 in a when you have it in the single configuration like this, just one side. You have that. You have the new Corning Gorilla Glass, the Vicious. They also changed where the touch sensor is. So the touch sensor is usually right here for your fingerprint reader. They merged it onto the power button and put it right here. The SIM card slot that's right here is now going to be at the bottom on the other screen on the device. They also bumped up the RAM. The RAM's going to have 8 gigabytes on it. You also got, and can't nobody complain about the processor. They got today's flagship processor, the Qualcomm Snapdragon 888 processor, guys. Like, yes. Like, dude. Let me go ahead. I'm going to pull up the specs right now. You have the most current processor in the market. The flagship. The same one that any of the top Android phones have. The best. You know what I'm saying? They added Wi-Fi 6 on here. Of course, you got your USB on there. The cool thing about the USB, you can do DisplayPort or HDMI over USB-C on it. So you can do that. They bumped up the charging a little bit. Now, this is one I wish they would have added some more, a little bit more. This is going to be 23 watt. I wish it can do, and who knows, maybe it can do more charging, but the charger is going to do about 23 watts on it. They added stereo speakers on it. This one, the Surface Duo I got, only has one speaker on it. So that's another thing that they made better. It's going to have dual microphones on this one. The last one only had one microphone on it. You still got the eSIM and the nano SIM on there. Hopefully AT&T, we can go eSIMs, AT&T. They also add NFC on it, guys. NFC. NFC, which means I get to pay with Google Pay from the phone again. I don't always have to use my watch, which I didn't mind, but I can do it directly from the device. I can also use any other thing that's compatible with NFC near-field communications. We're pairing up headphones, we're pairing up devices, we're pairing up the finer things, you know, like the towels, the the little things I'm talking about, the Samsung and Apple. God, I can't think of it right now, but where you find your stuff, so you just easily pair with those stuff, easily pair with the TV, easily pair with your laptop, stuff like that. NFC is going to be a huge game changer on it. You're going to have the cameras, guys. So you got the 12 megapixel cameras on there, wide telephoto, and 16 megapixels for the ultra wide on it. They bumped up the front camera. They bumped that up to 12 megapixels. You got dual LED flash for the cameras. It can do HDR, by the way. The screen will be HDR. It will also have 90 hertz adaptive refresh rate. I know that might not be the best, but it's a lot better than the 60 hertz. And it will adapt to, depending if it's doing a bunch of nothing or not. 401 PPI, pixels per inch on this as well. You have 3 storage options now. You have 128 gigabytes, 256, 512. Bigger battery too. Way bigger battery on this one. Video, you can also do HDR. You can do 4K recording, actually. The old one, you can't do 4K because you ain't got those nice cameras on it. So anybody complaining about it didn't have this or that, you now have 4K recording. And you can do that either at 30 frames or you can do a 60 frames per second. You can also do slow-mo up to 120 or 240 frames per second. It's got the newest Wi-Fi 6. The cool thing is it also has the Chromecast and Mirrorcast support, which the original does have. Bluetooth 5.1. I talked about NFC already. I talked about the USB-C already. We talked about charging, stereo speakers, and all that stuff. You can also make it with Google Voice, which this one can already do. We already talked about the readers, and it will come in 2 colors, Glacier and Obsidian. Obsidian is the one I'm interested in. I already got the Glacier. So, bro, that's a lot. That was really a lot of stuff, guys. I mean, this thing is going to be beast. Now, there's a couple things I wish it would have had and come with. One thing I kind of understand because it's kind of hard to do it in a slim profile, even though I wouldn't mind it being raised like a maybe 2 millimeter, 3 millimeters. Yes, it will create a little bit of bulk on it, but I would have preferred to have it, or maybe they can figure out something else. So the first one is that they don't have wireless charging. They do have wireless charging for the pen. You will have to get a special case for it. This case is going to be about $60, and the pen's going to be like another $130, $140. But for people that like that stuff or power users like me, you can get that and have the wireless charger with the pen that attaches to the phone. But the things that didn't have wireless charging for the phone, the actual phone, and it does not have ultra wideband, which you can use as a key. So at least that I can't find any of the specs that they have, which I would have expected them to put it in their specification page if they did have it. So no UWB yet. We got to wait for maybe the third one. So we're going to wait for one more model. But man, did they really, really show off with this guy right here? I mean, just look at all the stuff they come with. I mean, this is amazing. Here's the configurations right here. So they come with 8 gigabytes RAM, 128 gigabytes of SSD storage. That one's going to be $1,500. Okay, if you want the 256 gigabytes of storage, that one's going to go up to $1,600. And if you want 512, that's going to cost you a pretty penny. That's going to be $1,800 on that one, guys. Yeah. Which I don't understand why. Well, I guess because it is double the storage, so 200 extra. They could have helped us out a little bit on the price on that. I think if I was to get one, I'll get the 256 one in the obsidian color, because that black just looked nice. I mean, I can just see it next to the laptop. Oh man, I can just see it now. But you're going to be doling out money. I mean, I already spent as much on it as I did the one, so I will, here, it is what it is. Which the good thing is I enrolled in the early trading program, so I can save some money by trading this guy in to get that device, and it won't be as expensive. So good thing I paid those extra $5 for the past 12 months already, but I still got to wait a couple more months before it's over, and maybe it'll be cheaper by the end. So hopefully it goes down the price, so then when I do trade it in, it'll be a lot cheaper. So there's that. That's the Surface Pro Duo 2. I mean Surface Pro Duo, just Surface Duo. Dude, just look at this picture, guys. Look at that. I just don't like the camera bump kills it though. It kills it a little bit, but they said it should be a big deal. It should work fine. So hopefully I can find this in the store somewhere where I can pick it up and touch it. These will be available October 24th. Pre-order is going to be started pretty soon. But if you guys want one, October 24th is a release date for this guy. But Microsoft, great job. Man, that looks nice. Okay. For our final thing of the day, our final subject and our final product that they sold off. So this one had the biggest speculation around it. We didn't know what was going to happen. We've seen a lot of demos. We've seen a lot of FCC filing and stuff like that. So we knew that this thing was going to change, but we didn't know into what. So we have a new device. The old device was a Surface Book. The Surface Book is bye-bye. We now have The Surface Laptop Studio, guys. Look at that, man. Look at that. Now, you guys really have to pay attention to the video on this one to see how that screen works. So you got in multiple modes. You have laptop mode, you have studio mode, and then you have show mode, I believe it was. So let's go ahead. It will actually tell you in the video. Let's go ahead and play it.
Come with me and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look and you'll see into your imagination. We'll begin with a spin, driving in a world of my creation. You'll see, we'll defy explanation. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do it. Want to change the world? There's nothing to it. There is no life I know to compare with pure imagination. Living there, you'll be free if you truly wish to be.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. Man, guys. Introducing the Surface Laptop Studio. Look at that, guys. Just look how crazy that thing is. I've never, ever seen something like that. Because usually, for most of form factors, uses like folding back over the screen behind itself. The keyboard may recess, stuff like that. This is nuts. And I know the reasoning, a couple of reasons, like with the Surface Studio, the Surface Book 3 and previous Surface Books, they were saying that, excuse me, that reason why they got away from that was because like it took too long to detach. A lot of people didn't detach it. Not only that, whenever you were disconnected, when it had the GeForce GPU in it, it will stop working with some of the programs. So that's one of the reasons why they decided to go with the new form factor. And as you see right here, that's studio mode right there. Look at that, dude. That's crazy. Like you just, it's like it looks like a normal laptop and it just lays flat. Like let me actually go back to that one image. Like look, it just like if you just have it on this one right here, you can't tell anything except that it looks like a laptop, and then it folds over and then into that. Like you're talking about Transformers, right? Like really, you're talking about Transformers. That's just like crazy, bro. Like that's really, really crazy. And they're talking about having like haptics in the touchpad. And notice, guys, how we're seeing everything coming with haptic feedback now. You know, we're getting it in the laptops, we're getting it in our pens now, we're getting it in the DualSense controller for the PlayStations now. Haptic feedback has came a long way, man. Whoever came up with haptic feedback is really making bank now. That's all I gotta say about that, you know. But anyway, this thing has, and we'll go over some of the specs right here. a 14.4 inch, up from 13.3 pixel sense flow 3x2 display, which equates to 2400 by 1600 in the resolution. Actually, let me blow this up for you guys to see. You also have 120 hertz refresh rate. It'll be 60 by default. Same thing with the Pro. 10-point multi-touch. Same thing like the Pro. Also with Dolby Vision support on there. You're also going to have the 11th gen Intel Core processor, which is Tiger Lake. Now, they're saying this Tiger Lake is a little bit more powerful than the one that's going to be in the Pro. So these, instead of being the G, it's going to be H. So both of them going to be quad core. So i5 and the i7. The graphics is going to be either 1 or 2. So the cheaper model is going to come with the Iris Xe graphics card. That's going to be on the i5 models. But the i7 model is going to come out with the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 350 Ti with 4 gigabytes of GPU memory. Bro, that's awesome. That's awesome. This thing would come with no less than 16 gigabytes of RAM, and you can get up to 32 gigabytes of LPDDR4 RAM, depending on your configuration. The storage, guys, up to 2 terabytes. Oh! Jesus Christ. And of course, you got that dual USB-C port, which could do USB 4.0 or Thunderbolt 4. You have your headphone jack on there. You have the Surface Connect port on there. Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.1. The cameras are not going to be as good on this one, I don't think, because this one's not really made like the Pro. So this one's only going to have the front-facing camera, which is going to be a 1080p camera. So you see a video conference, but not so much for taking pictures. This one's going to have the dual far-field studio mics. But this one's also going to have quad speakers playing Dolby Atmos. Oh! Dude, 4 speakers on a laptop, that's bananas. It's got a bigger battery in it, 58 watt-hour battery. It's got your firmware TPM chip in there, so compatible with Windows 11. It will come with Windows 11 Home, and it will have a magnesium and aluminum aluminum chassis with the platinum color. And price is going to be starting off at $1,600, guys. Now, the prices, so this is not going to be for the week. Here's your prices right here, guys. So, your prices for the base Intel i5, 16 gigabytes RAM, 256 gigabyte SSD, Intel Iris Xe is going to be $1,600. The i5 is 16 gigabytes of RAM, but a 512 gigabyte SSD, Intel Iris Xe, that's going to run you $1,800. The Core i7 model is going to have 16 gigabytes of RAM, 512 gigabyte of SSD storage on it, but that one's going to have the NVIDIA GeForce RTX. That one's going to be $2,100. The i7 with 32 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte of storage drive, and in the NVIDIA GeForce RTX, $2,700, and a top-of-the-line model with 32 gigabytes of RAM, 2 terabytes of SSD storage with that same NVIDIA GeForce that's going to run you $3,100. Yeah, this thing is a freaking beast in that thing. Like, this is going to be more powerful than most of your desktop computers, guys. That's the sad thing, you know. Look at that. That's just it's like they took the concept of the Surface Studio and made it into a laptop. Like, because you guys know the Surface Studio, which is the all-in-one, which you can fold down and draw on and all that good stuff. It is still compatible with the, as you see in the video, the Surface Slim Pen 2. They didn't say nothing, even though it is compatible with it. They didn't say nothing about the Surface Dial. I would have to think that will have to get upgraded eventually, especially with these newer, more powerful surfaces. Or maybe not. Maybe they'll leave it the same. If it ain't broke, don't fix it type thing. But it's going to be very, very interesting to see how Microsoft juggle all these new form factors and these new devices. I mean, this thing just looks crazy. And you got a 3050 in there. Like, that's like probably the most powerful GPU on the laptop that you can get. You know what I'm saying? This thing does have 2 different chargers that it comes with. So if you get the i5, I didn't put that in the notes, but I want to say it comes with the 65 watt charger the i7 would come with like a 100-watt charger on there. So note that there are two different chargers depending on what model it is. I guess to supply for the power, especially with that very very hungry graphics card. They said you can still get about about 16 to 18 hours of battery life, which is insane. From something with this much tech in it, So now they didn't say if that was just for the i5 models or for the i7 with the GeForce RTX in there, but you can get up to 18 hours of battery life. That's all day battery life, basically, is what they calling it. Bro, like this thing, jeez, that's awesome. See, this is why I need some money. Just look at this, dude. You can just put the pen at the bottom, it charges. You got quad speakers in it. You can game with it. You can do whatever you want. Live your best life with this camera. You know what I'm saying? So, this dude, just look at that. That's crazy. That's crazy. I've never seen nothing like this. And you want to know something, guys? You want to know something? And I need to add a laughing emoji, a laughing thing onto my sound box. Somewhere in the world, an Apple iMac user is crying. He just said it a single tear after this got announced. Like, dude, don't worry, Apple fans. You get about 6 years. But, dude, I've never seen nothing like this ever. This got to be one of the best made laptops. And it's getting some good initial reviews, too. Like, these devices are really getting some good reviews, guys. A lot of people are saying that the Surface Pro 8 is more practical than this thing is. But if you want the best, and like you see like in some of the pictures and stuff like that, where they do coding and stuff, and like, intense graphics and content creation, this is really going to be the thing to get right here. Like, dude, look at that, dude. Jesus, that's just crazy. And then haptic feedback. Oh, look, it just came up. Haptic feedback on the touchpad. Like, really? Like, dude, you're doing too much, Microsoft. You're really doing too much. And then this part trips me out. Because like, how are they going to do the hands? Like, I thought it was going to be like this thing that came out, like a handle or something. No, they just like made it part of the screen. And it just folds over into itself. That's dope. I ain't gonna lie. That's pretty dope, guys. And you can touch and use your fingers and use the pen at the same time. That's just like crazy, bro. Jeez Louise. Jeez Louise. That's a great job, Microsoft. This is really, really like a good. I wish it came in black. They only got in the platinum color. But I don't know too many flaws that this thing have other than the price, But if you want the bleeding edge of technology, you pay the cost to be the boss. But man, dude, this is another gorgeous and innovative product by Microsoft. And you can really see Panos Panay just like taking his like position in stride. Like, this dude has really, really like transformed a lot of things with Microsoft. With the Surface line. I mean, the Surface line is his baby. And now he's got the hand in the development of Windows 11 now. I mean, this dude just like, he's killing it. Like, look at that, guys. Look at those. That's an amazing lineup. That being said, they didn't announce anything for their Surface Studio. So I would have to imagine that they're working on that right now. There was something else I was thinking about. I can't even remember because there's something else like they haven't did. And I should have wrote it down, but I forgot. But outside the Surface X and Jesus, these are some nice looking product, guys. These really are, Oh yeah, they didn't show a Surface laptop because they did upgrade that at the beginning of this year. So that was just like, minor updates and stuff like that to the unit. So, but yeah, man, I mean, that was an excellent showcase, I think. Especially I'm coming off watching the Apple showcase, then to go to the Microsoft one. Like, Microsoft is like really, really just like, hey, we're the company that's innovative. We're the company that's going to be daring. We're the company that's going to be taking risk. Because Apple's been playing it safe for a while. And a lot of people are actually starting to get frustrated a little bit with Apple now. And they like stop playing it safe. So Tim Cook and crew's got to come with it, man, because Microsoft is coming with it right now. You know, like I understand Microsoft take the time. I mean, Apple take the time to do stuff and they want to do it right. But hey, you know, it's only so long you can wait. You know, so good job, Microsoft, for a very, very exciting line of products. Like, well, like another hand clap. Well done, man. Well done, Microsoft. Alrighty, guys. That's pretty much the show for the day, man. This is episode 217. If you guys have any questions about anything, we'll answer it now. So, but I mean, the stuff that they came in today has been great, or this week I should say. And I mean, honestly, you cannot say anything better coming out of Microsoft offices than this, you know. Oh, of course, and just like Apple, they're going with mostly almost everything recyclable material, stuff like that in their products too. So I forgot to mention that. But dude, this thing is just, you know, that stuff's amazing, guys. That stuff really, really is amazing. So that's that. That's the show, guys. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and play some credits real quick. But yeah, we had some good stuff today, man. It's not a big episode today. But I mean, the biggest thing was just the Microsoft stuff. But we'll see what's going to happen with the whole USB fiasco in the UK. What they're going to decide to do. We also have, you know, Intel about to release Havoc apparently with this new graphics card, and they're creating foundries, and they're going to be making a whole bunch of chips. So they're going to be making a whole lot of money. I forgot to mention this, but they said in the first couple of years of these factories being up, they're expecting a $100 billion profit from it. Like, so that's going to offset that $20 billion like nothing. Dude, this is crazy stuff, man. It really, really is. So anyway, guys, that's the show. Thanks for joining. I'm going to be foaming at the mouth to get to these products. October 4th, when all of them come out, for the exception of the Surface Duo. Remember, the Surface Duo 2 is going to be coming out October 24th. You can pre-order, I believe you can start pre-ordering now, I think. So if you want to pre-order these products, they're available right now. Go to the Microsoft website. I'm not sure if they're available. I guess I can check real quick on Best Buy or some of the other. Let me check Best Buy real quick. So you can pre-order. Let me type in Surface Pro 8. Just type in one of them, see, because I know they're coming out October 4th, so it is in a couple weeks, or actually next week, I should say. Surface Pro. Let me see. Surface Pro 7. Yeah, it doesn't look like they have the 8 out yet. But I know pre-orders should be going up. I know on the Microsoft site the pre-orders are up because I was checked that earlier today. So, anywho, that's it, guys. Thanks for joining me as usual. If you've been rocking with me for the whole episode, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for supporting me. If you're a new user or if you're a new watcher, please consider subscribing to the show. Hit the subscribe button and then the bell notification. Also hit the like button, everybody. If you guys can do me a favor, hit the like button. That would help me out a lot with YouTube and all that good stuff. We got a few new users in, so thank you. Thank you for all the new people that subscribe to my show. I appreciate it. And that's that. The brother's hungry, so I'm gonna start looking to give me some food, finish out this round game, and go from there. So thank you again, guys, for joining. Hope you guys had fun and found this very informative. And I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my day, so you enjoy yours. This has been Marquise. This is the Keyse Review. Signing off. Peace. One. You guys be cool. Laters.
wonderful day. Everything's going my way. This is the day I reach out to touch, and I know I'm gonna get you, dear. Hey, hey. To one, came out a winner. He's a winner, baby. You showed I placed my bet on the right one. Hey, I'm a winner. He's a winner, baby. I'm a
I put a spell on you. do what I do. I don't wanna put a spell on you.